Hello, my name is Eduardo and I'm an exchange student at OB High. I'm from Mexico City, and this is me in Vancouver. This is my English 12 class project. We have now read Macbeth, and we must choose a passage that we find interesting in terms of how it's significant and why. Enjoy! William Shakespeare. He was born in April 20th on 1564, but it is uncertain yet, as he was born under the Julian calendar, meaning he was probably born around May 3rd. It's also said he died the same day of his birthday in 1616, but it's still a myth. It's also said that he was respected in the 16th and 17th centuries, but he wasn't recognized as a dramatic genius until the 19th century. He married Anne Hathaway on November 28, 1582. They first had a daughter, who they called Susanna, and they had twins, Hamlet and Judith, but Hamlet died at the age of 11 of unknown reasons. He was a poet, playwright, and actor. He was first doing a living by 1592 as a playwright in London. He was also chief executive officer in an acting company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men, later called the King's Men. By 1599, he and the Lord Chamberlain's Men built their own theatre, which was named the Globe, but he already read its own plays by the time. By 1597, he got almost half of his 37 plays published by two of his fellow actors. I first found this interesting because at the time he got like 14 of 37 plays published, he was not recognized then as a dramatic genius, and this makes me wonder how first people thought and how their thoughts changed starting the 19th century. Because personally, I found Macbeth a really good play, and I really like his plots and the way he actually ends the drama by destroying the hero. So that makes me wonder what were the thoughts of people in the 17th century. The first theater was destroyed by fire in 1613. A second theater was built in 1614, but that one closed in 1642. It was first all about comedies and stories before he switched to tragedies such as Hamlet, Macbeth, and tragic comedies that were not as dark as his tragedies, as they ended with forgiveness instead of the hero and the ones he loved destroyed, like The Tempest, Cymbeline, and so on. The Globe used flags to publicize plays. White stood for comedy, black for tragedy, and red for story. I find this interesting because a lot of people were still unable to read at the time, so with the use of flags, they could now know what kind of play the theater was performing later. I also found interesting he made a switch from histories to comedies to tragedies, and then tragic comedies. Now some interesting facts about Shakespeare. He has no descendants, and his only granddaughter Elizabeth, daughter of Susanna, died childless in 1670. There are also no records of him ever spelling his name as William Shakespeare, but there are as much as 80 variations recorded. Shakespeare's shortest play, The Comedy of Errors, is about one-third of his longest, Hamlet. Macbeth is one of the plays Shakespeare wrote. It is a five-act tragedy and is about betrayal and ambition. It begins with the appearance of three witches. Then it switches to a scene where the Scottish King Duncan hears the news that his generals, Macbeth and Banquo, have defeated two armies, from Ireland and Norway. Then it moves to the encounter between Macbeth, Banquo, and the witches. The witches have a prophecy and tell Macbeth that the Thane of Glamis, him, will become Thane of Colour and king after. They also tell Banquo that he will have descendant kings, but that he wouldn't be king himself. Macbeth was indeed named Thane of Colour, and Macbeth is intrigued by the possibility that the witch's prophecy is real, and he will be named king after. So, he writes a letter for her wife, Lady Macbeth, telling her all that has happened. When she finds out, she isn't as intrigued as Macbeth and desires Duncan's death more than him, so Macbeth can be the king of Scotland. She asks the powers to unsex her, and she could make a plan to kill Duncan. They eventually kill Duncan, and Macbeth instantly regrets it and starts knocking him, hoping he will come back to life, but obviously he didn't. Lady Macbeth doesn't feel as guilty as him, and well, as they kill Duncan, Macbeth indeed became the king of Scotland, and Duncan's sons Malcolm and Donalbain flee from Scotland as they fear for their lives. Macbeth, fearing for his life and for the end of the prophecy that claims Banquo will have descendant kings, he hires two murderers to kill Banquo and his son, Fleance. They succeed in killing Banquo but fail to kill Fleance. He later sees Banquo's ghost at a feast that night, and he basically raves during that scene. Then he goes and visits the witches again, who they give Macbeth a final prophecy, claiming Macbeth will only be killed by a man who is not born from any woman, and when Birman would move to his castle, and that he should beware from Macduff. Macbeth is told that Lady Macbeth has killed herself. He's struck numb with fear. However, when he learns that the English army is advancing with bows cut from Birman wood, it's already half of the prophecy, as Birman wood is technically moving to his castle. Macbeth fights the England army when he encounters Macduff. Macduff says he wasn't born from a woman, and he was ripped instead. Macbeth knows he is finished, but he keeps fighting until Macduff cuts his head off. I chose the passage where Lady Macbeth asks the Power Student's Sexer because I think this is one of the most important scenes, as when she said that, she didn't know what would happen later. And this makes me think that even though she looked confident when she said that, it's like she said that without thinking in any outcome, but the outcome she was looking for. I'm saying this because I bet she didn't think she would eventually start to sleepwalk and then kill herself. Anyways, what happens during this passage is that Lady Macbeth wants Macbeth to be king, so she asks the Power Stone sex her, making her charm looking but cold inside. When this happens, she is now the main force of their plan, because without her, Macbeth would have never killed Duncan, and even if he started the plan on his own, he would have been caught. This passage makes a really important twist, because all Macbeth needed to unleash his inner ambition was a little push, and Lady Macbeth being cold and straight during the plan for the assassination of King Duncan was that push. All Macbeth needed to unleash his inner dark ambition was that little push. I can justify this by just telling the scene where Macbeth hires the murderers to kill Banquo and his own fleeance. Lady Macbeth didn't ask him to do that. He did that because he didn't want them to seize the throne. Whole video made by Eduardo Mojica, and shout out to Oak Bay for lending me one iPad to create this video.